when I see a human being, I see them symbolically surrounded by an eggshell. Inside the egg is the real them, the unique them, desperate to get out. This is me.
There are a few essential things our bodies need to boost our immune system and stay healthy, especially in the colder season. Me and my family use Z-Stack, Z-Detox, and Z-Flu developed by the great Dr. Zelenko, who has a place in history for his tremendous life's work. With every purchase of Z-Stack or any other of Dr. Zelenko's products, you also support the Zelenko Freedom Foundation in their tireless work to bring back medical truth and freedom to everyone. To save on your Z-Stack order today, use coupon code INSPIRED. Please find the link to order down below. Hey, Inspired Tribe, my fellow freedom lovers, John Nolan here. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, and hitting the notifications button so you'll get notified about new videos every day. Thank you also for joining us in the Inspired Newsroom, our new news channel. It's wonderful to see you there. All right, let's dive into it. It is absolutely astonishing as we're living through this beautiful and very challenging time period. I call this the manifestation of truth, because what we've all intended for the truth to come out in all areas of our lives and collectively, we are seeing now the manifestation of that intention. Interestingly enough, when we look back into the past, we see that the truths were actually always out there for us to see, to hear, to find. And so often it takes hindsight, hindsight's 20/20 for us to realize this. It's interesting. We're going to look at a clip here by David Icke from 1997. And what he's describing in 1997 perfectly fits for 2023. It is as if he had said it 5 minutes ago. It perfectly describes what we're going through. Let's watch this.
This process of the intellect full of fear reacting against the intuition, which has no fear, is something that enormous numbers of people are going through. People have this feeling of what they really want to do with their lives, that they really think they really ought to do, what they really think they ought to say. But in comes the intellect, which says to the intuition, oh my God, you can't do that. Oh my God, what will the blokes down the pub think? What will the blokes at work think? Oh my God, what will the neighbors think, etc., etc. So we have this tension in the psyche between that part of us that wants to say, yeah, this is me, I'm free, and that part of us that's going, oh my God, you can't do that, put the dam up. And for me, it's the tensions created by this schizophrenia, this pull in two directions, which is responsible for the overwhelming amount of emotional, mental, and therefore physical dis-ease, disharmony in the world.
Can you feel the truth? Can you feel the absolute present moment accuracy of this statement? I think it's absolutely wonderful. If we look back and see, it's always been out there for us to grasp, to see, and so many have done it. But now it's happening at an exponential rate. It's happening at a pace that is almost indescribable, and we keep seeing how one layer after the other keeps falling away, and the truth is becoming more and more obvious to so many people. It is both a challenging and a very, very beautiful thing. It is actually quintessential to our expansion into the future. It's quintessential for us as human beings that are evolving that this happens. And David, here in the same interview that he, by the way, did for the BBC in 1997, goes a step further. He describes what he sees when he sees human beings. And just look at his life journey since 1997 and before to 2023, and watch what happens in the world and how accurate he was back then.
I think what we're going through all the time in our lives are experiences that we attract to us subconsciously so that we can face what we need to face to evolve. When I see a human being, I see them symbolically surrounded by an eggshell. Inside the egg is the real them, the unique them, desperate to get out. This is me. The eggshell is that veneer of programmed self that is keeping the real self in there, the self that is enormous love, wisdom, understanding, knowledge. And it's when the egg cracks, like it did for me in the early 90s, and falls to the ground, that the real self starts to manifest itself. You're not a herd. You're not a You're not something that someone else says you must be.
I think you can't put it any better. Who we were meant to be is something different than the world wants us to be. The world wants us to put a label on ourselves. It wants us to be in a box. It wants us to be clearly classified because that's how the matrix operates. The truth is, inside, who we truly are is something so much more expansive that words can't even describe it. And the more people begin to realize this and begin to live it in their lives, the more this facade, this matrix, this simulation, this whatever it is begins to break down, because it is the opposite of authenticity. It is the opposite of truth. It's the opposite of freedom. And so we just wanted to show you that in a quarter of a century, what he basically predicted in that interview, because it is almost like a prediction, because when he said those words in 1997, the world didn't really reflect what he was saying. But David tapped into the eternal truths. He tapped into a bigger picture, like so many of us have been tapping into over the past years and decades, almost foreseeing what was going to happen. But even him, even us, we couldn't really imagine how it would all play out. Now it is playing out. I just want to encourage you to keep the faith, keep the trust in this process, and most importantly, go inward and trust that what you're feeling, what is in your heart, what is in your spirit, it is exactly what needed to be there. It's exactly what was put there for a very specific reason. And when you trust it, you walk your path. You walk it with purpose and meaning and love, and it will lead to a very, very beautiful future, I believe, for all of us. All right, thank you so much for tuning in. We love you. We appreciate you, and we'll be back with you again very, very soon. We're more dedicated than ever to provide authentic, truthful, and uncensored information and inspiration. That's why we created the Inspired community on the free speech platform Locals. There's no censorship, a free flow of information, and it's more personal and intimate. And you can join us as a free member or a paid supporter. Please visit inspired.locals.com and join us today.